All right, adventurers, welcome back to the Witcher Lorecast. This is your host, Tom or Robots, and I'm here as usual with my good buddy, the man on the path, Toasty himself of Toasterburg. I'm going to come up with a different city every time. Yeah,
it sounds better than Toasterton. I feel like
that's true. That's true. How you doing, Toasty?
I'm doing all right. Like I said on the last Patreon episode, I didn't have to do an outline, so I feel great.
that is the side benefit of these Patreon episodes, is that we don't have to do the same kind of, we're still prep, but we don't have to do the same kind of prep. And we get the added bonus of getting to chat with our patrons. And speaking of patrons, back again is our OG patron, our first patron, and still our only tier 4 patron, Ben of Temeria. Ben, welcome back, buddy. How you doing?
Hello again.
Again.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I see you've still got your 2 Witcher swords there behind your back.
Of course.
Yeah, for those of you who are not watching during the live stream, we are live. It is Monday night on twitch.tv/robotsradio. You're always welcome to join us, and you can always watch these on our new YouTube channel. We've moved everything over from the Robots Radio YouTube channel to the Witcher Lorecast YouTube channel. They're all the videos now are on their own YouTube channel, so you can go there, check out all the videos if you want to see our faces, our wonderful, beautiful Witcher faces. But Ben is here. You can see him with his swords behind him. And man, we saw some pictures from the event you went to over the last few weeks. I guess that was 3 or 4 weeks ago now. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's still going too. So
yeah, we're going to be talking about that stuff towards the end of the show. But we had a big reveal, sort of a reveal. We had a nice long trailer that was released for the season 2 of the Netflix series of The Witcher. Just in the last few days, this came out. And there's some juicy morsels in here, guys. And so this is perfect timing for the three of us, and especially to bring Ben in here with us, who obviously you have a lot of experience with the series. And I think it would be a really good opportunity for the three of us to go over this trailer. And that's going to be the focus of this episode. We're going to go piece by piece through the trailer and take this on and see what we think we can glom from some of the details. So if you would rather watch the episode with us, you're welcome to do so. You will be able to see the details that we are looking at in the video itself. If you're not able to do that and you still want to listen to the audio version of this episode, you're totally welcome to do so. We will do our best to describe what we're seeing in the trailer. You can always go back and watch the trailer later. This is called the Road to Season 2 trailer. It is currently up on YouTube. It is part of the Witcher Netflix channel. There's lots of other channels that have posted this as well. And guys, are you ready to start? Ready to pull this up?
I think so.
I'm ready, yeah.
All right. So here we go. It starts with Geralt, and I'm going to play parts of this. We're going to skip over some of the parts where they're doing some of the, hey, remember this from season 1? But when there is something that we should pause on or something worth remembering or reminding, we will stop it. And definitely when there's something that we haven't seen before that's from the new season, we're going to stop and we're going to talk about it. So here we go. I'm going back to the very beginning here.
Evil is evil. Lesser. Greater. Middling.
Okay, so I'm pausing here right at the beginning. And I think that these quotes are important, right? Geralt saying, evil is evil, lesser, greater, middling. This is him putting his foot down, saying, it doesn't matter if it's evil. It's evil. I'm not going to split hairs. And that was a key distinction that he made in the first season, correct?
The first episode.
Yeah. First episode, yeah.
Yeah. Where he was like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to make the distinction between a greater and worse evil. That is something that too many people do. If it's bad, that's my job. It's my job to stand against it. I'm a Witcher. Evil things are monsters. I stand against monsters. That's what I do. What do you guys think about that?
Typical Geralt saying things that he doesn't ever adhere to sometimes.
I mean, it seems very simple to say, but it also seems very difficult to do in practice, right? Because
Yeah.
over top of this, we have the juxtaposition of him. There's the scenes of him, the Butcher of Blaviken scene, right, where we have fighting in the street. We have fighting in the streets.
Lesser.
We have the ghouls. He's fighting off some ghouls. So the typical monster slaying. Okay, so obviously, yes, you gotta slay the ghouls, right? Taking money in order to fight off these ghouls.
Greater.
Siege weapons. So now we're talking about humans fighting humans, or nation states, kingdoms, things like this, going to war with each other. Now we're starting to cut it. This is more finely splitting stuff here. This is becoming a little bit more difficult. So, sometimes you have to pick a side. And then it goes on.
Middling.
Nilfgaard. We have the armies of Nilfgaard, and specifically a very important character standing here in the foreground.
Yep.
Yep. What was her name again?
Fringilla Vigo.
Fringilla. And at the end, and we should warn people, if you have not seen the first season of The Witcher on Netflix, first of all,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Go watch it right now.
Yeah.
Secondly,
Great.
This season wraps up with her definitely taking sides, and we find out that she is working for Nilfgaard, and she is a key character, putting a lot of things in play here, right?
Yeah.
Should we sum it up like that? Do we want to add more details around that?
I mean, she was kind of like assigned to Nilfgaard.
Yeah,
she got screwed over. Yennefer screwed her over.
Yennefer screwed her over, but she definitely took on the opportunity to basically come to power through that assignment.
Yeah. Which this is a bit of a different image of Fringilla that we see here, as opposed to like in the books, because obviously they expand on all the Yennefer stuff, which we don't get first off, but she's not really an important character until like
Lady of the Lake, I think.
4 books in something. So she
one of
doesn't
the
even,
last books, I think.
Yeah, so like she's not even like a prominent character for a good majority. And then they like just pull her in because she's a mage or she's a sorceress for Nilfgaard. That's pretty much it. Whenever they go to make the whatever it's called, the Council of Sorceresses or whatever.
The Conclave.
Yeah, that. So she's not even. It's definitely a different look because she's playing a very significant part here that she doesn't in the books at all.
So there are some scenes later in the trailer that I think might hint at some character development, but I'm not sure. And so let's table the discussion about her for now, because she shows up later, and I think there might be some interesting stuff with her. But we are reminded of her specifically, probably for a reason, at the very beginning of this trailer. So here she is with Nilfgaard, right? And we know at the end of it, at the end of the season, there's the big siege, and Yennefer is taken captive, is what we're led to believe. We're led to believe, right?
The Battle of Sodom.
The Battle of Sodom. Yeah. See, Toasty remembers all the names of this stuff. All the names just fall out of my brain. I do too many lore shows to remember all the specific names without having to look them up ahead of time.
Miraculously remembering the names, honestly. I'm surprised I'm remembering. I mean, I didn't remember the name of the
Conclave.
Yeah, that.
See, this is my bets here.
Is that what that was called? I thought that was the pre one.
No, wait, no, you're a Lodge of Sorceresses.
Yeah, there you go. The Lodge.
The Lodge. The Conclave, was the one
beforehand that had men in it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So here we are, and so let's move on with the trailer.
It's all the same.
Something out there waits for you. Something more.
Oh.
Okay, so there we have Triss saying something out there waits for you, something more. And I think that's a reminder of like, hey guys, Triss is here. She didn't do a whole lot in season 1, but she's important, right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they make her important at least, because like,
I mean, she kind of has to be, knowing where they're what book they're following at least.
yeah, but like honestly, if you think about the book itself, she's not really that important in it either. Like there's a
good point.
a good part of the beginning, but like,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they do more with her, because like she's really there to like stir the pot, I feel like, as a character.
Well, we
because it's
do know they're okay with moving some things around chronologically, and the characters are almost there to play specific kinds of roles in the world. And the fact, again, this is a trailer, the fact that they're putting specific characters in a trailer, they've got 3 minutes to say, this is important, remember this is important. So the fact that they're going to give somebody a few seconds in a 3-minute trailer means like, hey, you need to remember who this person is.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So
we seen her in the earlier. They don't show specifically her face or anything, but some of the earlier trailers, I'm fairly certain that there's like a part where it's like a lady pulling back her hood, and that would have been Triss based on what we know of the books. So from the other trailers, we should know that the assumption is that that's her, but I'm like 99.9% sure that it's Triss in that part of the trailer, a different trailer. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So we've got Triss saying to Geralt, I'm assuming
if that's part of
Something more.
the episode before, right? Is
Yes.
that from one of the earlier
I'm assuming
episodes
this
as
is
well?
all
Yeah, I think it's
earlier
from
episodes
the Striga episode.
This is all pretty like recappy for the most part.
The
So
Striga episode. I think you're right. And of course there's Dandelion here in classic Dandelion fashion. Here, let me back up
not
a little
new
bit.
Dandelion. That's
Not-
still
no,
old
not new
Dandelion.
Dandelion.
Not new Dandelion. This is still old. This is still
This is
season 1
no
Dandelion.
hat Dandelion.
Yes, season 1 goofball Dandelion.
Something more.
Oh, fun.
Then we get the title Netflix series, and then we have, of course, the city burning. This was Sintra?
Yeah.
There is no more hiding from Nilfgaard.
She's why they came.
So we have the siege of Sintra. The Nilfgaardians are burning the city to the ground, and Ciri is running away. She's evacuating the city, and she's being pursued. This is that remember this whole thing where they were trying to capture her, and she was running away. This is, like, hey, that was a big important plot thing during multiple episodes. Yes, here we go. Remember that. That's what they're trying to tell us here. And then there's the whole, remember how she can do that scream thing and it knocked over this like obelisk or part of a wall or something?
This was like a watchtower or something.
Right.
But
Like she's got some sort of power thing going on. We don't know what it is, but it came out in a moment of stress. Yeah. Remember that? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we know what it is, but
Right.
Yeah.
But they're telling the audience like, hey, here's another important bit. You need to remember this.
Find Geralt of Rivia.
Right. And then, of course, the moment where she's told, like, this is your destiny. You need to find Geralt of Rivia.
He is your destiny.
And what I think is super crucial here is that moment where, and I believe this is a moment from season 2,
Destiny.
them embracing in the forest.
that's the end of season one.
Is it the
That's the
very
last
end of
thing we
season 1?
see.
It's the last thing we see?
Yeah, because they embrace, and then Ciri looks up and says, "Who's Yennefer?" And then it just cuts.
Okay, because there's an embrace here, which I think is representative of, their future relationship.
Yeah.
This father figure he's going to become.
And I'm sure it was partially like a bit of like a comforting thing for her there too, because she's been running this entire time, and she's like, "Oh my God, here's the dude I need to find."
Right. But of course, it's also part of this whole like, you've been this, badass on your own doing all this stuff, and then now you have to be a basically a father figure for this young girl who very little about. Surprise! There you go. All right, so let's move into the next section of the trailer.
I need to understand some things.
So I believe this is the first clip we get of the next season.
Yes.
And they are at a campfire in the dark, in the cold. And this is they're at a fire, and it looks like they've made kind of a lean-to. It's a like a wooden structure with some branches and things. And they must be traveling, I'm assuming.
Yep. Just tell me how much you want me to like divulge. That's the real question.
Well, we can share as much as you want. Like, this is like, what do you think is going on here?
So this is most likely the portion of the story where Geralt is taking Ciri to the Temple of Melitala so that like she can learn from the priestesses there. I think, yeah.
Lady,
what's her name? Oh dear, I feel bad for forgetting her name because
okay.
she's so cool. She's so cool because she always tells Geralt, but she always corrects him on his shit. Like, she does not care. She's like,
she always patches him
Mother
up
Ninika.
too.
Mother Ninika.
Yep.
There you go. But yeah, so because I think part of Geralt's background is that he trained with them a little bit, and he's taking her to do the same because she's got to learn. She can't just learn like how to be a witcher. She needs to learn how to like a bunch of other stuff, and so he's taking her there to, I think, learn basic academics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think academics, and then I think some herbal stuff, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that's what this is. They're traveling on the road.
Mm-hmm. And she is in what looks like a very nice fur coat of some sort, and her hair looks like it's been well kept. Or kempt. She looks like she's in good condition. Like, they're setting off from somewhere where they've been relatively in comfort. They don't look like they've been on the road for a long time.
It's not quite the scenario, but yeah, sure.
But that's what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
This looks like they've been taken care of, and they are not leaving a place where they've been in harsh situations and in need. They don't look dirty. They look clean. They look like they've been,
yeah.
Okay.
So they've left from Kaer Morhen, and the reason she probably looks this great is because at part of the Kaer Morhen part, Triss would have chewed. Yeah, she chews the rest of them out about how she's a girl and she needs to be a girl, and that means taking care of yourself and looking all pretty. She tells all of them that, and they're like, okay, we don't want to argue with you. So then they let Ciri have days off and things, and then
she's able to pretty herself up a little bit. Yeah.
So
yeah. So okay. So that's you think that this is where this is. So this is probably what, maybe episode 2, episode 3.
I would say 3. 3. Yeah.
Because usually in these trailers, we don't get too much more than a few episodes in.
Because we have 8 episodes total, right?
Right.
And the last one was redacted. We don't even know what that one's called.
Yeah. So, and it's rare that they give you a glimpse of anything. Whoa! Thank you, Chespin, for the follow. I've got the audio up so that we can hear the video, and so we're going to get these sound effects from followers and things during the live.
I thought you just started playing the trailer. Wow. I was like, okay, just cut us off, Tom. No big deal. No.
Yeah. But it's rare that we will get glimpses of things too far into the season, because they could contain things that would be a little bit spoilery, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've seen this clip before, and I would assume this is, that this is like episode 3. So it's not that far in, but they have showed us this in other trailers. So it's still kind of reusing stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just like a different, I think the angle's just drawn out a bit more rather than close up on their faces, I think is what we saw before. So,
okay. All right. Well, let's move on. So they're having this conversation here.
Done some things.
Based on the international best-selling book.
Me. Why?
Okay, so we're now back to season 1. The scene with the guy, the knight or whoever he was that was turned
Dooney.
into the beast, and that whole scene where they almost killed him, and then Geralt was able to save him and helped figure out what exactly was going on. So we got that scene. Now, is there a reason why we're being reminded specifically of this this event here.
Oh yeah.
So this is going to come back. There are going to be things that echo into events in the second season.
Yeah. I'm not going to elaborate on this one. This is a big thing. So for anyone, I don't want to spoil too much there. So this is the other thing was a minor thing early. This is like a big deal for the story. So we're not going to mess with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is going to have ramifications. So there's a reason why they're reminding us of this. All right, let's move on.
I saved your father's life.
What exactly is Cameron?
Okay, so this is interesting because we have a scene where we have her in the furs and with her hair looking nicely done, although it's slightly different in the scene by the fire. But we have, and they're in the snow riding on a horse together, and we don't know where they're going, but the voice overlay is where exactly is Kaer Morhen, and so it's almost like this is a juxtaposition of them after they leave Kaer Morhen, but the audio leads us to believe that they're traveling to Kaer Morhen.
That might be actually the case. I'm realizing now that like that could be them. Like the first episode could be them traveling to Kaer Morhen
after they had somehow got her cleaned up and stuff. Maybe they had taken a break at an inn or something and gotten her, bought her some clothes.
I can think about because they did a clip through the Netflix event, which I'm not going to spoil for people, but that would actually make more sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. But we got two theories here, so we'll have to see which one it is. So maybe they are traveling.
And
to
they had time to recover, I think, because Geralt was injured at the end of the last season.
That's true.
Because he got attacked by those ghouls.
That's all right, and he has a hood over his head, so I have to wonder if is it because it's cold? I mean, she doesn't have a hood over her head, or is
it's cold,
or is he trying to disguise himself? Is he just trying, on the road, trying to not to, show? Obviously, he looks like a freaking Witcher. Is he trying to keep himself from being recognized?
They just had to cover Henry Cavill up a lot so that Freya Allen wouldn't get distracted.
Maybe that was it. All right. So, and then they have like a door opening. And this is them walking into Kaer Morhen. And again, her hair is braided and she has the fur on, just like they did on the horse. And he has the hood over his head. And then let's pause. Let's go back there because we have our first glimpse of a room full of Witchers. Boom! Look at those studs. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in a room. The one in the back, obviously, Vesemir. Who are all these guys? What do you
Lambert's think? The ginger. That's the guy playing the ginger.
There's Lambert on the left.
Eskel's the skinny one, I think.
Is this Eskel on the right? Is Eskel
I'm assuming
here in front?
The prominent people here are like, it might, I don't know exactly. Let me see something. They may have told us who's playing Eskel.
Because they did one trailer to where a Witcher kneels down to Ciri and says, "Who are you?" And he has scars on his face. So that, I know that's Eskel. He's like priest. Lean, I would say. Not very muscular.
Okay. I mean, these guys look pretty rough. We don't see a lot of like this guy over here. We don't see much of his body on the left.
He's not. I don't think he's in this picture.
He's not in this picture.
Eskel's not in this because this is. I'm looking at the guy right now, and I'm not seeing him in this frame.
Okay,
at
because
all. None of them are scarred enough, really.
Okay, the guy on the far right, you got that. That's true. The guy on the far right has a medallion. The guy in the center of the frame has a medallion. The guy on the far left standing, I can't quite tell if he has a medallion or not, but he definitely has what looks like leather armor with some like plates embedded in it. And then there's another guy here sitting with his back to us, and he's kind of out, like mostly out of frame. So it's hard to tell much about him. But I wouldn't be surprised if all of these are Witchers. They might all be.
Yeah. It's just a little weird because this is like more population than I think.
Yeah, because there's
gotten.
Yeah.
I think it was just like Lambert, Eskel, Vesemir, and
Cohen, right?
Cohen, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot. So I guess the assumption is one of these is Cohen. I would guess the center guy sitting. I don't have a close enough image. I'm assuming one of these guys is going to be wearing a griffin totem or medallion. So,
yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
so maybe we'll get a better glimpse in.
He seems very prominent in the picture, like so. I would assume that that's him, but who knows?
Yeah, so we'll go a little bit further. We'll see if we can get any other cool freeze frames here.
We're home. Finally.
I mean, you got to pause there on Vesemir, right?
Yeah, there's Vesemir. There's a good old hot.
Oh, there's even a dude in the background for Vesemir.
Yeah, there's this other guy in the background. I don't know. It's hard to tell if this was the guy sitting to the left and is now in just a different position, but probably not. I mean, he's out of focus. He's out of focus. Yeah. He has a similar arm guard on, and he's a dark skinned guy with like longer hair. But he looks like his body is heavier set than the guy that was on the left, even though most of that guy's body was out of frame. So it's hard to tell. He's in the shadows and he's kind of out of focus.
I'm assuming this is a progression from the scene that we just paused on. Like,
right.
You know, so right. I guess this is just another Witcher. So another 7.
Witcher. So maybe 7. He definitely has a medallion. You can tell the medallion because it stands out in contrast to the rest of the dark clothing that he's wearing.
But for sure, we got to talk about Biker Vesemir here.
Vesemir. Yeah, he looks very similar to Vesemir in
Witcher 1.
The Witcher games. Yeah, especially The Witcher 1.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
it's true. And he looks in a lot of other things, like the clips and stuff when I saw him moving. But in this particular thing, he looked so much like a biker. He looked like he needed to be riding shotgun for Dog the Bounty Hunter. Like it was so weird for me. And everything else I watched, I don't know, just something about the mustache here comes off so biker. It just threw me off. But it doesn't look like that in any other part of the trailer.
It might just be the lighting shining off like the gray of the lower part of the mustache. I mean, so for anybody listening, he does have a very big handlebar mustache thing going on. But I mean, it fits him. I think it totally fits him. And the Witchers are kind of like bikers. You know, they're riding around on their horses. They're kind of this rough group that, you know, these badasses who, you know, travel around.
Only go for gold.
They do it for gold. You know, like they've got that kind of quality. You know, they got cool hair and wear leather, and you know, like it makes sense. You could draw some parallels. But like ignoring the mustache, I think that the actor is a great pick.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, I don't know anything about this actor at all. Like, obviously,
just looking at him, just looking at the face, like he's got a Vesemir face.
Mm-hmm. So I'll judge his acting once we see it, because you know you can pick someone who looks like someone and they can still be bad at it. So you know.
Yeah,
he's got but I trust that they'll do a good job. Netflix usually does a pretty good job with their stuff. Obviously, They did a great job with season 1.
They did good on season 1. Yeah, season 2 should.
Right, and to continue on with what they did in season 1, they have a very diverse cast. That's the other thing here, is that you have this group of men who now might be 7 guys in this room, and there's a diversity here of people. You know, diversity of skin colors, hair colors. Like this isn't just like, you know, fantasy world full of a bunch of white guys. Like this is a diverse cast, which is great. Like, congratulations, diverse fantasy world. Thumbs up, you know, good job.
They've done a good job with that. Like, I mean, like the Zerrikanians and stuff that we saw in season 1, like there was obviously a very diverse cast. They did a great job with that. So
yeah. So I think that's important. And, you know, we have too much of these like old fantasy tropes that are very whitewashed, and to have a diverse cast that isn't stereotyped is wonderful. So, all right, so let's move on with this. All right, so we have a scene where Ciri is outside. She's hitting a straw man with a sword. So obviously she's moving into her training. That's probably still part of episode 1, I would assume.
I'd say
maybe episode 2.
Maybe episode 2.
They probably.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying I assume if they're on the road for episode 1, and that's when they have that like conversation and stuff, then maybe they get to Kaer Morhen at the end of episode 1. And then,
because they already released the first 7 episode names.
Right.
And episode 2 is named Kaer Morhen.
That would make
maybe
sense.
even getting to it on that episode. So this may even have gone into episode 3, maybe. So who knows?
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think traveling to Kaer Morhen, reminding us of what they've gone through, their adventures on the road to get there, and then the like opening of the doors, and then the like, Geralt, who is this? Boom, end of the episode. Okay, have to turn on episode 2. It's freaking Netflix. Yeah. Gotta binge it. Okay, okay. Who are these guys? What's going on? Yeah, obviously that seems like a really good way to get you to go. Yeah, okay, now got to start episode 2, going right into the next episode. So yeah, Geralt looking down, seemingly on Ciri as she's training on this dummy. We'll move on a little bit.
I brought her here so she'd be safe, to protect her. It's hard to do when I don't know who I'm protecting.
So there's a few things that happen here. I brought her here so she could be safe, to protect her. There's a scene where she's in the keep looking out. There's a scene where there's like the mixing of a potion, which is interesting because we know that they can't really do the Witcher potions on her because she's female, and that's not going to work. Do you think there's some attempt to make that work?
There is a little bit.
Yeah, in Blood of Elves was a little bit.
Yeah, they administer some of the early stage, like the dietary things, the strange
like the
mushrooms and herbs and things that they would normally feed before the trial of the grasses. So they do that a little bit.
You said do.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Well,
Toasty doesn't have any time for my childhood jokes.
No, we don't. But yeah, so we do know that they attempt a little bit. Doesn't really work out. But.
Yeah, because Triss gets involved.
Yeah.
And then we also have the line that like, well, it would be helpful to know who I'm protecting here. And so there's the, tension between Geralt not telling Vesemir who she really is.
Which I'm curious about. I can't remember that. And Ben, you're just as knowledgeable here. Is there any like of that secrecy in the books?
Or maybe they just play it up for like a brief friction in the episode.
Yeah,
and then,
it's probably an episode drama thing.
Yeah.
I think it was because I'm pretty sure, at least if I recall in the book, Geralt does tell Vesemir that, hey, she's my child surprise, and goes on with that. I don't know. I can't remember or not if he told her exactly who she is right off the get-go, but I think he did.
I feel like I don't remember there ever really being any secrets in the book. Like, he's very open with Vesemir.
I mean, Vesemir's his father. So.
Yeah, like they have to trust each other there. There's not much left of the Witchers, and they know that they can trust each other in their own like school. So it's not like, they're not worried about any problems there. They watch each other's backs.
Right. All right. So let's move on. Then he has this garb, right? Is this hers from Sintra?
Yeah, that's a Cintran lion that's that's depicted. So that would be like one of the older garbs she's managed to hold on to or something.
So maybe that's his proof of who she is.
Yeah, maybe.
It's hard to do when I don't know who I'm protecting. Or what I'm protecting her from.
He has an interesting accent. Did you notice that? The way he spoke there? I'm going to go back. Oh, hold on.
Or what I'm protecting her from.
He's got a little bit more of an accent than, it's hard to tell what specific accent it is, but it definitely has, there's some flavor there in his pronunciation.
Oh yeah.
Which was kind of fun. So I like that. And again, more, Henry Cavill looking, grimly out into the distance. And then we've got some more stuff.
We're going to get a lot of that this season.
Spend a lifetime alone.
So we got some Dandelion here standing in the background. This is season 1 still, right?
I think this is when they had their spat.
Yes.
In season 1.
Right. So another reminder of like other people connected to Geralt.
What changed you?
Yennefer of Vengerberg.
And then here's the reminder, like Geralt is now different from when he left because of the things he has recently gone through, including Yennefer. And this whole section on the second half of this trailer, we're now at that midway point. We're like right exactly at the midway point. And they're like, and then there was Yennefer. And we get a reminder of like the things that she went through, like her rough upbringing, her being disfigured, the stuff she had to go through as a magic user.
I want to be powerful. Do you have what it takes?
I dream of.
And then all the trials and stuff she went through, and then her emerging and using the magics to change the way she looks and emerging as this beautiful, sorceress and yada, 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 right?
Becoming important to someone.
You're important to me.
And then them falling in love, and of course the difficulties that went along with that, and then of course them kicking butt together in season 1.
This is your legacy. Save these people. This continent.
And then the climax of season 1 where she like roasts the forest. Remember this? This is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
It's hard not to remember that.
It was pretty cool. She was all
so
beat up
cool.
looking, and she just fired.
Let your chaos explode.
Yeah, she just blows everything up.
You're in chains behind enemy lines, Yennefer.
Do you really think offering me as a sacrifice will spare your failure?
So there she's being led away. Frangilla has her bound. She's walking next to Frangilla, who's up on a horse, and she's being bound and led away. Is there anything else we need to point out about that scene?
Her bound up in chains, I would imagine, at least in lore wise, probably is diuranium, which nullifies magic. More than likely, we'll see that.
Yeah, I would assume so as well. But other than that, this is a thing that's not like established prior. Like this is a new thing.
True.
Completely unique.
This is not in the books at all.
Yeah. So this is not anything we will know. So whatever happens here is a completely new thing for everyone. So,
And this is a new scene too. This scene of her walking next to Frangilla, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. They have not really come in contact yet from the Battle of Sodom.
Yeah.
Right. So this is all brand new, and there are other soldiers around. So they're being escorted. They're escorting her. What looks like off the battlefield. This looks like this is just the moments after the conflict.
I would also just like to point out just a little bit of a detail attention that I appreciate. That dude in the background or whatever carrying an actually historically accurate longbow, because those things are massive.
Oh yeah.
And people always assume that they're not that big. They were huge.
They were gigantic.
And that is what they look like.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that they're using actual authentic stuff there.
Absolutely. Cool. That is very cool. Very, very cool. All right. So we're getting to even more stuff with Yennefer. So here we go.
Spare your failure.
We're blind. The war's just begun.
So a few things here. Well, let's back up just a little bit. You're blind. She's talking about Frangilla's failure. You're blind. The war has just begun. They're debating basically politics and of what's going on with the battlefield, right? And Yennefer's trying to talk her back from the edge, I think, is what's going on here. And you can tell that the army is still marching. There's still things going on with the army front. And then there's a scene where the two sorceresses are back to back, and the army is being attacked. So there's something's going on here. They are probably under assault. It doesn't look like they are the assaulting force. It looks like something is happening, and they were not prepared, is the sense I get from this scene. And we only get a quick scene, and it is dark out. It is nighttime. Usually armies do not attack at night unless they are in desperate need to do so.
So, do you want my guesses on this?
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's do it. This is the Lorecast. Spoilers possibly ahead. There are always warnings for this stuff. Absolutely.
So in the books, so we're kind of seeing a weird change here, because in the books, Yennefer is kidnapped by Francesca Findabar. Yeah. Later, it's later on than this point. So, or at least we don't learn about it till later on. And she's turned into a little teeny statue. And I think that's artifact compression for the actual like mechanical terms of things for those interested. And then brought back, and like Francesca kind of like forces her into joining the Lodge of Sorceresses. And I assume that this is somehow a way to then tie in Francesca into it by having, because Francesca is an elf. So
true.
So you think this is an elf force that's assaulting the army on the road?
It could be like the introduction to the Scoia'tael.
Yeah. The blood of elves is the introduction of the Scoia'tael, which is it's a big deal. They play a big part in the war. So introducing them is going to be very important. And the Scoia'tael are the squirrels, a bunch of elven
non-humans,
rogue,
elves, dwarves, non-humans.
Yeah. So they're like guerrilla fighters. So this may be the way to introduce her into the story and kind of tie them together, because I think the three of them are tied together. Sort of.
Right. And it would make sense that if they are a guerrilla force, that they would be attacking at night when the force on the road is not prepared. Also, Fringilla's face in this scene looks awesome on this frozen clip right here.
She looks it looks like that's like a very much like hold me back scene. It looks like Fringilla wants to go like start wailing on somebody, and Yennefer is like, no, don't do it. I don't know.
And then people and it looks like they're getting hit by very strong arrows.
They're like spears attached to ropes.
Spears
it's very interesting, like weaponry there, because it's like it hits them, and then I assume that the rope allows them to like pull them away. And I don't know. I've not seen anything like this, and I don't really know anything, to be honest. So
and it's not monsters. These are human or elven weapons. These are not, these are intelligent races attacking them. This isn't monsters. So, so this is interesting. All right, next scene. We've got them captured inside a cart. And just before that scene, we have a glimpse from the outside of the cart at a distance of what looks like people on horseback, walking.
I'm seeing a lot of long hair.
Long hair.
And fine hair. Like the two individuals next to the cart, I see an individual that looks like they have like really long blonde hair that's sort of facing this direction, and a second one.
Some of it is braided. And then you even have kind of mixes of different armor. It looks like kind of mixed matches of armor and pieces like you would have in kind of a hodgepodge guerrilla force. So they don't look uniform like a military.
And I'm wondering, it's kind of weird. There's a part right in front of the wagon that looks like there's a very short individual there. Possibly
right.
Dwarf. I don't know if it's part of the wagon or not.
Right in front of the tree too. There, if you look, so like there's people on horseback. There's a taller person, a shorter person, a taller person, and then a very much shorter person. So different heights of individuals. Now that might just be men and women, but
the elevation could play. But it looks like it's a fairly straight path here, and I don't think
this fourth person is almost half the height of the person in front of them. So the significant differences in height. So this very well could be elves and dwarves on a path together.
And like I said, the fair, because we've seen elves before, still kind of fair haired, not as fair haired or anything as like Lord of the Rings, but they're still fairly like fair haired and like kind of more beautiful looking. So I think that this is a very pointed shot from a distance to like show, hey, they've been captured. This is important, without telling us, hey, this is the Scoia'tael. But if you pay attention to the details, and people that are knowledgeable enough, I think, could totally call this as the Scoia'tael. At least that's my assumption.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. They even have the ones who look like they might be more prominent have very green outfits. They all seem to have like kind of a green motif going on.
I think that's just I think there's just a thing you see a lot in like people that are usually like fighting in like wooded environments. You go green, you're camouflage.
Yeah, but it looks like it's intentional too. Like it looks like those people
I think they intentionally wore green to be camouflage so that they would be harder to detect.
And is this ear right here does it look kind of pointy?
It's so
hard to see.
It's hard to tell.
If you were to zoom in on that, it looks like it might be kind of pointy.
It's quite possible. It's so far away. I think they did it on purpose so that you wouldn't be able to tag them as elves. So.
I mean, yeah, on my screen, it almost looks like it's a triangle, but it's a very small triangle.
I can see a little bit of a skin there. So possibly.
All right, let's move on with this.
Human class.
What is said there? Can you tell what is said there? I'm going to go back. Listen again.
Human class.
Human class?
I'm going to have to listen to it from
Is that an elven word?
It quite possibly could be.
One more time.
Human class.
It's like the latch is opened, the door kind of creaks, and then this is in the cart. They open the cart, that both women turn and look. Him the class?
It could be elder speech.
Keep them close.
Keep them close?
Keep them close.
Okay.
Human class.
Keep them close. Keep them close. I can hear it now. Yeah, it's quick. It's keep them close. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, it's not foreign language. At least do that. All right. Next scene. This year.
Monsters do bad things to people.
Monsters do bad things to people. You can't escape. And she's in like fancy clothes. So let me go back. We're going to freeze on this. She looks like she's in fancy clothes in what looks like a fancy scene. But maybe that's just a nightgown?
She has her own room most of the time, but I don't think this would be a Kaer Morhen room. This might be a later thing where I'm assuming, and this is the weird part that's going to be kind of confusing depending on how they do this, because we know that Yennefer's got some stuff going on. But Yennefer's also supposed to train Ciri on how to control her magic during this, during Blood of Elves and leading.
True, but
so
are we going to get all of Blood of Elves in one season?
I mean,
I
think so, because wasn't episode 4 or 5 called Dear Friend?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and that's like halfway through the book already.
That is true.
So that would be like the halfway point. Which I'm not going to spoil that. I think anybody who doesn't know anything about it should experience for the first time.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, let's not spoil that. Let's not spoil that.
But she should be training Ciri on how to control her magic. And we know Yennefer, she got some money. She likes to go nice places, stay nice places. So
she's so fancy.
She'd definitely shell out some cash for the penthouse suite, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, so you think this is like a penthouse suite kind of thing?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so then we have Geralt like stabbing something outside in the dark.
He's stabbing the ground.
He's stabbing the ground, but it's just there's something out of frame. So I don't know that maybe there's something there. You can't escape is what the text says.
Humans do bad things to
Okay, so we have two armies rushing at each other. Very like high camera angle. Horses on the right side, lots of dark clothes on the left. I'm assuming that's a Nilfgaard on the left.
Nilfgaard is definitely the force on the left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see there's flags.
Banners on the right. It looks like a white banner with a red line across the middle with like some sort of circular emblem in the center.
Trying to remember what are the earlier stages of the war that happened beforehand.
Who did they invade first? Because it's south going north.
Yeah.
Trying to picture the map. Well, we have armies clashing here.
Bad things to everybody.
And that's a close up of somebody getting chopped. And yes, a Nilfgaard person on the right. On the left is more of a traditional knight with silver armor on the left. But again, we can't really see any banners very clearly. And then the monster within. And then we have a scene of Yennefer with her hands in the air, concentrating on something and some sort of bright light.
That was part of the end of season 1, whenever they throw that giant fireball and she wakes up and catches it before it can do anything.
Okay, so this is not
just
new
that
footage
scene right there.
Right. Yeah. Whoop, go back. Oh, this is interesting.
Got to get the dandelion torture scene, okay?
Dandelion, yeah. Okay, so we have.
Oh yeah.
We have another scene of Ciri with holding a sword. This may be the first time they put a sword in her hands.
It looks like a wooden sword, so I would assume so. Training sword. I mean, she's still wearing that fur coat. So it's like they came in and they were like, "All right, time to train." And she's like, "Can I even unpack first?"
Let's
and they're
get
like,
started.
"Nah, we gotta train."
Right. And her hair is still braided, just like when she was on the horse. So yeah, this is probably that just after that first scene, right? Yeah, Dandelion screaming, and he has longer hair and fancier clothes. So this is season 2 Dandelion.
Oh yeah.
And he's got blood in his mouth, on his teeth. He looks very tortured, and we can kind of see the side of a person's face on the left with longish hair. Looks like a male with longish hair.
Hey Ben, I think I know who that is. Do you know who that is? Ben?
Oh, I know who it is.
I think you know who it is. Okay.
Do you want to tell people?
Nah, I think we'll hold that one. You're probably going to learn about him real quick. A new character.
Yeah,
so definitely something that people. Yeah, we'll let that one.
Hold off on that one. Okay. This is the dragon from season 1.
Monsters.
3 jackdaws.
What was that?
Yes, three jackdaws. Yes,
3 jackdaws, and then the spider creature. This was
that weird bug. There was like a magic assassin who was using that whenever they were chasing after Yennefer.
I don't know if they ever specify. I know a lot of people are I can't talk. Speculating. Thank you. That might be like a frightener, maybe.
It might be. It's a very small frightener compared to what we see.
True.
But it might be. So some sort of early introduction to that'd be interesting.
I mean, okay. So looking at it next to the wheelbarrow over there, that thing could, like, the height of a man holding that wheelbarrow would come up to about the bend in its legs.
It's a big thing, but it's a big
thing. That
it's
thing's
slightly more than human size. It's not as big as the Frightener we see in Witcher 1.
Sure, but we've
seen it before.
It's at least 8 feet tall.
Which, if this thing is, this might just be a scene from that season.
I think it's from
maybe?
season 1. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because they chase them through a lot of portals away for a lot of different places, and one of them is kind of a weird, like, alley courtyard situation.
Right.
So it might just be showing that again, and reminding us of this horrible monstrosity of a monster that they decided to create.
Right.
This thing was terrifying. It had metal sides on its arms. It was just like, this is insane.
All right, so we got that. Okay, so we have a scene in the snow with Yennefer opening up a portal.
I think that's when they first escaped from that assassin.
Right.
That's
this was the portal hopping.
The wife. She's holding the baby, and then that's like the last guard who was still alive.
Right? That's season 1 stuff. And this horrid. Then we have bloody hand.
That's from the Striga.
That's the Striga. Yep.
Looks close.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful face right there. That looks awesome. Then we have Geralt fighting the what was this? What is this called?
Kikimora.
Oh, yeah, right. The Kikimora in the swamp, and he's in his amazing looking eyes, his dark eyes when we took all the potions.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have what was that? What was that creature flying around in that scene?
So that I believe is from season 2.
Yeah, I don't think we saw that.
That is so. They did during the Netflix event. They did show 2 exclusive clips. One of the clips was with that monster. I don't know if I want to name the monster because they do straight up name it.
We might. I mean, they already revealed it, so let's talk about it.
It's a Bruxa.
So there's a Bruxa. So this scene, this scene is.
That's gonna be.
Because the first episode. The first episode's a Grain of Truth, which is not in Blood of Elves. It's its own side story.
That's weird. They're doing
it. They're going with a weird route.
That is start of the really weird. I don't. Maybe the moral part of that story, I guess, is significant.
That's what I'm assuming.
So, yeah, this is a story that happens in like the collection of short stories. That is, I think this happens in the first book.
I think so,
if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
I think so too.
But basically, it's Witcher, Beauty and the Beast. That's essentially what it is. Where like there's the beast and he keeps on trying to find someone he loves so that the curse goes away. But it's not. And then he like falls in love with Bruxa. That he doesn't know it's a Bruxa. They assume it's some sort of like I can't remember exactly what they called it. Some sort of like very
kind of a thing.
It was a rare woodland like creature, but and then they find out like Geralt's like kind of like thinking through things and he realizes that like Roach has been real skittish the entire time, and the beast Nivellen, which that's the name of the beast guy. Nivellen has no problem. Like Roach isn't scared of him at all. So Geralt comes to the conclusion of like, wait, why is Roach scared if that's not like if he's not scared of that guy? And then he realizes but that's like something that should have happened in the first season. But I guess they're doing it in the second season, which is weird. But I guess we'll see what they do with it.
Like, yeah, it may be like, or maybe it's later. No, I guess if they've already named it, then it's going to happen earlier. But the scene, for anybody who can't see the scene, it's at night. There are what looks like these like city cobblestone buildings, and a winged creature flying around in the dark among the snowflakes falling from the sky. So. And it's very quick. Like this is a very quick scene right here. Just boom. All right. Next. So here we have Geralt and
I think he's back to back with Vesemir. It looks like Vesemir
because it's another white-haired person, but it's not a mirror, and it's not Geralt because he's different clothing, right? But back to back with somebody else. Assuming
Vesemir's the only other.
Yeah, he's the only white-haired
right
Witcher, and I don't think it's a mutation thing. I think
it's just age,
just old. None of them are old enough to have it, and he's very broad. And we know, like, the actor that they showed us is a very like kind of big, broad dude,
right?
So like those are really broad shoulders. So I'm pretty sure that's Vesemir,
and he has like leather armor. Vesemir has leather armor on. Geralt, it just has a shirt on, and looks like he's already been cut on his left shoulder across his chest a little bit. So it looks like Geralt
getting lax. He's going to get a talking to from Vesemir.
It looks like Geralt was not prepared for whatever is going on here, or jumped into the situation in order to help Vesemir out, but did not realize that he was coming into a situation or something. But there's something going on here.
The chandelier in the background, you see very like small portion of it next to Geralt's head. That looks like the same kind of chandeliers we saw, the Warhammer 40K chandeliers, as Henry Cavill said.
Oh yeah,
right.
That looks like one of those Warhammer 40K
Dark
chandeliers. So I assume that this is Kaer Morhen still. So some weird stuff is happening in Kaer Morhen, which is kind of terrifying. Monsters getting into Kaer Morhen, it's not really a good thing.
Nope. All right.
All of deeds done.
Go back. We've got what was her name?
Saya DeVries.
Right. So this looks like it's just after the battle, the ending of the very beginning of the first episode of season 2, the very end of season 1.
Yes, this is like the aftermath of the Battle of Sodom.
Right.
And it looks like, I can see a lot of like the fire still going in the background. Looks like kind of like charred corpses a little bit. So this is probably the aftermath of Yennefer's crazy flame thing. Mm-hmm. And you can tell Tisaya is very distraught because she is not clean. And something we learn from the books is that Tisaya DeVries is the most like OCD clean freak there is in existence. She straightens her sleeves like every like nanosecond in the books. They make a point of like showing that she's always fixing things to be exactly even and proportionate. So the fact that she's dirty means that she's really upset about something.
Yeah. So and this is of course a reminder like, hey, remember her? Yeah. So, all right. So we got her.
Deeds done.
We've got, is this Dandelion peeking behind a tree?
Maybe a house tree, something?
A tree? We've got like Dandelion's face all messed up.
That looks like a house.
All bloody.
Yeah. This is probably post-torture.
Yeah, I can see that.
Poor guy. He looks pretty messed up. This is very serious Dandelion. This is not goofball Dandelion anymore. This is very serious Dandelion.
Which is something he is capable of as much as you don't realize that. He is capable of serious moments.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to find out more about that.
Short moments, but moments.
Short moments, but moments. like when he's running away from the boyfriend of the girl he just ended up in her room. And anyway.
Oh, jeez.
A reminder of that scene. Then we have whatever's going on here.
So that is that Tisaya? That's interesting.
This is
that's an important guy there. That's the winged helmet guy.
Yes.
The
his name have we learned his name yet in season 1?
I don't know. Ooh, you know what? I don't know if they did.
But
we know his name, but I don't know if they said his name in season 1 at all.
Yeah, but he's important. He has an important role in things to come. I'm not entirely sure who the woman is, although it kind of looks like Tisaya.
So he is chained to what appears to be a chair. He's leaned backwards. Her hands are on his head, almost as if they're being combed through his hair. But he also looks like he's in agony. That's what's going on in this
sort of
scene.
like mental thing going on. I'm sure I don't know. I don't remember the specifics of magic, but there might be some sort of like invasive telekinesis. We know Yennefer reads Geralt's thoughts all the time. So maybe this is some sort of invasive telekinesis and it's really uncomfortable. So
yeah,
who knows?
Who knows? All right. Next scene. All right, and this is like the quick little, boom, boom, boom. We've got Geralt busting through a door, as he likes to do. We've got Rockstar Dandelion strumming away on that lute with an awesome jacket and some eyeliner in his longer hair. Mm-hmm. We've got, I'm just going to click through this. We've got this guy. What was this guy's name?
Vilgefortz.
Yeah.
And he will be important later.
He's very important.
He's back.
Don't forget him.
He's back. He was a really good sword fighter guy.
He was the guy that was drawing the sword over and over again. Yeah,
that's right. He kept drawing the sword again. That was his magic thing that he kept doing.
Yep.
So we got him. And then he does a chop thing back to Geralt in a snowy place, cutting something's head off, probably.
Unforgivable.
We've got Ciri.
He's definitely got that little part with Geralt in the courtyard. It looks like his eyes are black.
It does kind of look like his eyes are black.
Yes.
The effect of the mutagens or the potions.
They seem very dark, almost like the skin around them are dark, like the veins are being affected.
Yeah,
in his face.
Ciri looks really uncomfortable of whatever he just cut the head off.
Right,
like she's like a very weird side eye that looks like it's in the same location.
Yeah, so they look like they're in the same location. It pans over to her. It doesn't pan over, but it switches to her,
unforgivable.
And she looks porcelain in this scene. Like, he looks rough and like he just chopped the head off a thing. And then her skin, like, she's very fair, but like the way the lighting is, the way her eyes are reflective, and then she turns and looks, and she's wearing what appears to be that same dress that she was wearing when it looked like she was in the bed earlier, with the beads and things in it, with the pearls.
So I think this would be the same, which this is going to bother me, I think, because this looks like the same courtyard that little Bruxa clip was in.
Yeah,
I think this is what happens.
I think
this is what it is.
Ciri in that story, which
That's
is
what it
not
is.
in that story.
That's what it is. They have to deal with the Bruxa on the way to Kaer Morhen. That's what
Probably.
the first episode is they're traveling Kaer Morhen. They end up having to deal with this along the way. She then gets a glimpse of what Witchers do by having to deal with that situation.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
She gets interested.
Maybe she doesn't get interested, but she goes, "Oh, now I understand who you are and what you do." It gives her an understanding of like who he is and why Witchers are important, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
because she grew up in a place where she was never shown that. She didn't know, you know.
I might hate this a little bit. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be a good thing, but this might be the most like breaking from stories that we know. Like, I think everything else.
I mean, look at her face. She's disgusted by it.
I know, but she doesn't. How about an empty screen because she's not supposed to be here?
Toasty doesn't like it when anybody breaks anything.
I know that they're going to do it. I expect it, and it's fine. They did it a little bit, but they were pretty accurate. But this is probably
this is the most like that thing they've gone off the rails with.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be good.
It'll be fine. She needs to learn the same lessons from that Novellan story, anyways. So whatever.
There you go.
It makes sense. I think it makes sense. All right. So
The bones.
And then the Witcher comes in with all those runes on the sides of the letters. And we have the wolf and then the two other symbols.
The bird is swallow.
And then the obsidian star.
Yeah, and the swallow is Ciri, the obsidian star, Yennefer. Basically, a logo to encompass the fact that all of their fates are entwined, which is a great logo. Which, from anyone who watched the last episode, whenever they showed like all the different logos and then they meshed it into this thing in that really cool animation, beautiful. But yes, all of their fates are entwined. And it's a great little logo to show that. So
yeah, very cool. Then Netflix. So that's it. I think that's all of it. I mean, they are making changes. They're always going to have to make a little bit of changes to adapt anything from a book to a movie or to a TV series. There's always going to have to be some sort of changes because you can't just strictly adapt one thing to the next. It just doesn't.
No.
It just doesn't work that way.
So I'm curious. I'm curious about this. This is maybe something that they did, because I know I was a little. I guess I was a little disappointed by it that they didn't have the Novellan story, because that's like my favorite one out of the entire collection of short stories. That's the one that I liked the most.
Maybe they were saving it.
And maybe I wonder if a lot of people have the same opinion and they got a lot of flack for not including that. And maybe they're putting it in there as like maybe a response to people.
Maybe.
Because I mean, I was disappointed because I really enjoyed that one.
Or maybe they've been saving it from the beginning.
All the stories. So.
Maybe they've always wanted it to be something that Ciri experienced in order as part of a lesson.
Yeah,
for her. Character development
for her
moment.
Yeah,
it could have been either. Hey, you know what? This has been an awesome look at this. We're already over an hour into the show, and we've got to thank our patrons. And I do want to hear a little bit about the event you went to, Ben. So why don't we transition to thank our patrons, because we got some new ones this month, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna wrap this up with just a little bit of your experiences at your Witcher event. Does that sound good?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Very well. Let us get this over with. Something has infested my vineyard.
Great. Let me go prepare my something oil then.
Awesome. So thank you to all of our patrons. Ben, thank you for being here again this month. You've got us to yourself 2 months in a row. That's amazing. We're going to have to see if anybody else signs up at the tier 4 Leshen level for next month. And also we now have 5 patrons. So thank you to all of our patrons. And we have some new ones who just signed up recently. So thank you to Venitwo, Fishdew, Mark 10 Gamer, Turbo Toboggan, and of course, Ben of Temeria. You guys are amazing. Welcome to our new patrons. And if you are interested in checking out the Patreon to see what stuff that you can get for being a patron, including ad-free episodes, the potential to join us on a future episode of the show to talk about all things Witcher, and who knows, maybe even talk about, maybe there'll be another trailer to dissect before the next, patron episode. Who knows? Because we've got December before the season 2 comes out. So we'll have to see. But if we've done anything to help you get through your workday or, your commute or even just, washing your dog, then we'd really appreciate the support because it helps me and Toasty do this as a thing. And we really do appreciate it. So thank you to everybody. All right, let's move on with the rest of the show.
You smell of death and destiny, heroics and heartbreak.
It's onion.
Right, yeah.
So Ben, thanks again for joining us, and thanks for your insight on the trailer stuff and those details. That was really cool. This last month, you went to an event, and I saw the pictures. Ben of Temeria with your Witcher outfit and your swords. Looked like you were having a blast. What is the name of the event? What did you get to go do?
So I live here in Ohio. So every year we have an event it's every weekend of September and October.
Wow.
It's the Ohio Renaissance Fair.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people dressed up. A lot of people are in old time outfits, steampunk. I know this upcoming weekend is going to be time travel weekend. So a lot of people will be like Star Trek, Star Wars kind of like look.
Yeah.
Every weekend's themed. But I went every weekend I've been there 3 or 4 times now. As my character Ben and Temeria, and it's really cool because funny enough, I was like the only Witcher
really
around. Yeah, first day I went, everybody's telling me it's like you're like the only Witcher here. Like thought people would be like dressing up like crazy because the Netflix series.
Yeah.
Talking to one of the shop owners because there's probably 3, maybe 4 dozen shops people sell things at and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they're saying it's like, well, since we didn't have it last year due to the pandemic, last year would have been a huge year for like seeing the Witchers, and this year you think they would have some, but no, I've like,
this is the year of the Witcher. What do you mean?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
No, they're all out there doing their work. They're on the path,
Yeah.
You can't have,
True.
the Witchers are a rare.
No, hey, I'm on the
Witchers
I'm
are
on the
hard
path
workers.
when I'm there.
Yeah. You're a rare breed. You're the only one
slay
in the
any
area.
monsters? Did you have to kill anybody while you were there?
Funny enough, all the cast, all the workers are in like character there. They're all in talking and everything. Fun. I got people throwing coins at me on a regular basis when I was there, which is great. I was like, I got like 10 coins. And then
like pennies or like actual like
actual coins they have at the festival,
nice.
which is really cool.
Oh, I want to do this now. I just want to do that. Tom, will you be my dandelion, Tom?
We don't live near each other.
I'm trying to get one of my friends,
but yes,
like be my bard, but I guess he wants to do something else. But it's really cool. One of the cast members like kept sawing around. I was like, I think there's a succubus around here. If you, I might need to contract you to go kill it. And I was like, give me a good price, and I'll think about it.
do you do like a scruffy voice thing?
No, I do kind of my normal voice. I try to deep it, but I'm not really good with doing that.
Yeah, you don't do a Geralt.
Yeah, I can't do that.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it's so fun. The last time I went, there's like 13 pubs and taverns around the place, live music all the time.
Big old
cool.
turkey legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was not impressed with the turkey legs though.
Oh,
It's really like turkey legs tastes like ham to me.
Yeah. I mean, they're usually smoked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the most like exotic thing you got there?
No, I had
Elephant rides. Do they do elephant rides?
No, they don't do elephant rides.
The one near us always has elephant rides. That's
the one here too. They got elephants and camels.
And they always smell. Elephants are so stinky.
That's awesome.
Camels, yeah.
But no, I had like it was bourbon chicken and rice. It's like chicken with like a bourbon sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I always get the alligator tail at the Renaissance Festival that I go to.
It's alligator.
They always have alligator tail, and that's like my go-to because it's so good.
Never tried that. I live in Florida, and I've never had alligator.
Like, you live in Florida. There's too many alligators in Florida. If you do anything to one, the rest will rebel.
They all get mad.
Careful.
They all get mad.
Yeah.
I know people who have gone out in boats and just like will pick up alligators out of lakes. And you're not supposed to hunt them, but they've like grew up in Florida, so they know how to like handle alligators, and like legitimately can like will lean down and can like grab them out of the water because you can clamp their mouths, and their mouth, like the pressure that they close with is like hundreds of pounds of force, but the pressure they can open their mouths with is very, very small. So if you're strong enough, you can actually keep their mouths closed. You can clamp their mouths closed and you can lift them out of the water if they're, within a certain size. You wouldn't want to do this to like a big one, but a small enough one that you can pick up. Yeah, totally. You just pick them up out of the water.
Only in Florida, man. Only in Florida.
They were actually pretty docile. They're like, unless it's a big one guarding a nest, but for most alligators, they're just scared.
We don't have that here. We have geese, and geese will attack you on sight.
Yeah, geese are terrible. Geese are
we have alligators here, but it's definitely not as like common as Florida. I mean, because I see so many things on the internet where it's just like, there's an alligator on my front lawn. What's up, Jerry?
Oh, dude, there's an alligator. Yeah, like I could go outside and walk, and within 3 minutes be at the lake down the road, and there's an alligator down in that lake. Yeah, it actually it has a nest. Like it just laid babies. There's probably baby alligators in the lake right now. Yeah, man. Well, that sounds like fun. That sounds really cool. Thank you for sharing the pictures and stuff. You posted them all over the place. I know people get a kick out of that stuff, and that's super fun. But again, thank you for being our patron. Thank you for joining us this week and chiming in with your perspective on this stuff. It's super fun being part of the community, and that's a big reason why Toasty and I do this show, and I do these other shows, and it's all part of being the part of this community, and getting to nerd out about all the stuff that we love. So thanks for being here. And man, I know Toasty probably feels the same way. I can't wait till season 2 comes out. I can't wait till more information. I know there's been
season 3 was announced.
Oh god, season 3 has been announced.
Another anime movie.
New anime movie. I know CD Projekt Red.
One thing that threw me off is the kid and family show in the universe.
Yeah, whatever that is.
What's kid and friendly?
Who knows?
Like what?
I know CD Projekt Red is gearing up to do another Witcher game.
By the way,
True Blood Origin as well.
Yep. So there's a bunch of stuff out there. But thank you again for joining us. Is there anything else you want to share before you head out?
I mean, everybody, you can follow me on Twitter at Benetamaria on Twitter. I share a bunch of Destiny, Witcher, and I've been posting pictures of me at Ren Fair. They can check it out there. But that's about it.
Very cool. Yeah, we've been playing Destiny. We've got a Destiny group on the Discord. So Robots Radio Discord, if you want to chime in with any of your thoughts about the Witcher stuff, or if somehow we missed something in this trailer and you're like, oh my guys, you guys are idiots. How did you not miss this gem that somebody was wearing in the back corner of the frame of this thing, or whatever. Yeah, let us know. Tell us we're all idiots.
Politely.
Politely.
Yeah,
politely tell us that we're idiots. And
don't call us idiots.
say that we are politely idiots, and come join us. We'd love to have you hanging out with us, or playing games with us, or just chatting with us on the Robots Radio Discord. Toasty, you have anything else you want to share?
Just the same old usual stuff. Follow us, the Witcher Lorecast on Twitter. We have the new YouTube channel, so follow that. Witcher Lorecast on YouTube.
Yeah, the channel's not big enough to have its own URL yet. It just has one of those generic YouTube URLs. But if you search Witcher Lorecast, it'll come up. You'll find it.
Yeah, it'll come up. I have a fan now, apparently.
So when people join the Discord, I like to say, hey, welcome. And oftentimes we'll ask them, like, what brought you here? And so they'll say, oh, I'm a fan of this show. Or, well, somebody recently was like, I'm a fan of Toasty. And I was like, hey, Toasty, you have a fan.
Shook. I was like, what?
Yeah. And they were like, you're like,
me?
What? Why?
I said, why? Yeah. I was like, what? Why? That was my response. Because honestly, there's no other response that I can think of, because like, I got to know.
You
why.
are an internet personality now, my friend.
Apparently, I've been shook by this the entire day. I just didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, I have a fan now. I don't know what to do with this information.
If one person can log on to the Discord and say it publicly, it means there are dozens of other people who are just not telling you this. That's what this means. So you have dozens of fans you just don't know about.
Oh dear!
And this person justified it by saying, "I'm gonna look up their name." I don't want to just say this person. This was Tancred Bay on our Discord. So welcome again, Tancred Bay, who says, "Because you're grumpy like me." So you have a kindred grumpy spirit.
I think they might be one of our new patrons, by the way.
I believe so.
Because
I think
they have a tier 1 patron, and if they're a fan of me, this is the show I'm on. So I assume that's one of our new patrons.
No, I don't think so, because I can see all our Discord people. So they might be a patron of a different show, which is weird. Okay. They like different show, but
maybe
also
they listen
a fan
to
of
the Cyberpunk one, and I've just been on that one a few times.
It's true. It's true. You do cross promote multiple across multiple shows. So
yeah. Go listen to the Cyberpunk forecast if you want to hear me complain about what was it? Dread 2012.
Yeah, we recorded that the other day.
And talk about how it isn't wet enough to be a Cyberpunk movie.
All right. Well, you guys know where to get my stuff, robotsradio.net, for all the different shows. I'd love you to come check out some of the other lorecasts that I do. So if you like role-playing games, chances are I do a lorecast about it. Not all of them, but a bunch of them. But you guys know where to find our stuff. Toasty and I will be back for another regular episode next week, same time.
A sort of regular episode.
A
spoopy episode.
Are we doing Monster next week? We're doing Monsters.
I think so. I've been asking people in the Discord if anybody wants to weigh in their opinion. You can go onto the Witcher channel in the Discord and tell me what you think the scariest monsters are, because I've been asking people what they think they are, and I figure, we can cover the scariest ones for Halloween, for Spooptober.
Our first monster episode. This is going to be fun. I love the monsters. All right. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up next week. And you can always come join us live on twitch.tv/robotsradio, 9 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights. That's 6 p.m. Pacific. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for being here again, Ben. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
See you guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Witcher Lorecast. We'd love to hear about your experiences with the games and the books and the TV series and all your thoughts on everything. Please check out the Robots Radio Discord and follow us on Twitter at Witcher Lorecast.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.